I'm back, yo. My apologies. I kind of made the same fatal mistake with my broadcast that I did with I think, episode 5. Episode 5, I think it was episode 5 because there's an episode 5.1 explaining what happened. But episode 5, I went live for about 35, 40 minutes talking. Early in the episode, there was a picture of, there was a billboard of a news lady, a black lady that looked Asian. I made some type of joke about it. And I flipped the camera around. But once I went to do this, right below the flip around camera button, it's the mute button. And apparently, my sausage fingers hit both buttons simultaneously. I didn't realize it. So the podcast was muted the entire time. And how I figured it out, because I always go back and I listen to my podcast as soon as I'm done. And yeah, you hear me for the first 3 or 4 minutes, but then when I flip the camera and flip it back, it's nothing but pure silence. But I had a general idea of what I spoke about. Like most of my episodes, they can be abbreviated. You know, it's just a lot of filler, a lot of extra words, a lot of banter, a lot of back and forth for people. But most of my episodes, you can summarize them in a few sentences. It counts since I had the mute button hit. I guess when I went to share it with Facebook, I pushed the mute button and didn't realize it. And once I came back in, you know, I just get to talking. What up, Z Ion? I don't know who that is. Z Ion Gaming was good. Y'all can hear me now. Welcome. Episode 71. We made it 71 episodes doing this, man. Commuting. Every day, Monday through Friday, weekdays, for the most part. The only 2 days that I missed was days that it snowed. And even in those instances, I should have still went live. Looking back at it, if anything, I should have did it even longer live. You know what I'm saying? But I want to but to do those longer form lives, I want to do it on like a Streamlabs or not Blog Talk Radio. That's kind of old. Maybe Streamlabs, or I might even bring back the Zoom, because even though I gotta pay like $15, I gotta pay monthly. I think with Streamlabs I don't have to pay monthly, but I can share the screen with you. I can share what I'm looking at, you know, and we can go in on topics. I can get a little bit deeper with things that are going on in the world and stuff like that. In the car, I could kind of do that, but I don't have the references at hand as readily that I would have at home. Even though that's not even really this style. I'm eating green grapes. My style of podcast is not necessarily speaking on what's going on in the world. It's more or less just on like what's going on in your mind, and just different ways of doing things, and just different ways of trying to just different perspectives. Like I'm not, like I always say, I'm not here to give you answers. I'm just here to give a different perspective. But every now and again, something in the world will resonate where I kind of want to talk about it and relate it to the human condition. Hayden, Tori, I'm doing pretty good, man. You know, I'm doing good. We can always, it's a cliche, we could always be doing better, but hey, man, I'm doing better than I was a year ago. I'm doing better than I was 2 years ago. The whole point is you want to strive for every day to be a little bit, even though we get closer to our transition. I don't like to say death, but even though daily we're getting closer to our transition, it's funny because conversely, daily we should be improving as human beings. Isn't that funny? The older you get, for the most folk that want to elevate, the older you get, every day you get more wise. Every day you get a little more knowledge. Every day you gain more of an understanding, but every day is a day closer to that transition. But logically, I feel like it should be that way. Once you transition, and I don't believe in us having memories once we become whatever else it is that we become. I don't believe that, but maybe I spoke about this in another one of my videos. Maybe the various clues, the way we leave our mark in this existence, we leave certain clues. And I guess the smarter we get, the better clues that we leave. So whenever we come into form as something else, the deja vu will hit that much better. I don't know. I'm speculating, but who knows, though? I'm on my way home. Well, really, I'm on my way to Big Y to get a couple of the usual items that I get: white macadamia nut cookies. What else I gotta get? There's something else that I wanted to get, and I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But I know I want some white macadamia nut cookies. I got some tuna fish at home. I'm about to make some tuna fish for my lunch for the next couple of days. There's something else I wanted to get. But like, I know I ain't about to stop this whole train just for one thing of cookies. That seems kind of counterproductive. And I have to go to the appliance store. I broke one of my appliances, so I got to go ahead and replace that. But you know what's funny? It's a washing machine. I put too much stuff in the washing machine. Wasn't paying attention. It was spinning wildly. I had like coats and I had a backpack and crap in it. You know what I'm saying? I just overdid it. And it's crazy because before, if I would break something or, you know what I mean, had to do like a major repair on my car, it would be like a major point of stress for me because financially I just wasn't where I needed to be. And I would always have to like I would always get stuff done, but it would just be stressful. I'll be juggling credit cards and robbing Peter to pay Paul and stuff like that. But in those moments, whenever a mistake was made, I used to have a tendency to focus on the problem, to focus on the mistake. And if you see the title of this video, the solution trumps the problem. Now, I know Trump is a trigger word for you. Some of you individuals say. So the solution surpasses the problem. How about we say that? Just so y'all don't get all tiffy and hiffy. You said, you are such a monster. A loaf of bread and toilet tissue. You said, nah, I don't need no toilet tissue. I got plenty of toilet tissue. I got plenty of bread. I got plenty of that. But the solution trumps the problem. For one thing, if you're going to wash like book bags and stuff like that, or heavy coats, wash one coat at a time, you know what I'm saying? Do it on a gentle cycle. Book bags, like if you're washing a backpack, because like the straps can get caught around the thing if it's spinning too fast. So you either want to put the book bag like in a mesh, one of those mesh bags or whatever, or just wash it by hand, you know? That's my bad, my mistake, my fault. I own up to it. I'm focused on the solution. We're gonna go to Home Depot and handle that. And before, when I didn't have consistent daytime income, when it was all over the place, when I wasn't getting that consistent 40 hours, something like this would stress me out. Like, you know, I'm like, damn, man. As soon as I start to dig myself out the hole and about to make moves, XYZ happens. And now it's you know, it's still like it's an inconvenience. But as soon as I saw the problem, I was able to handle it. I'm like, the problem already happened. You know what I mean? I can't do nothing. I can't go back in time and change that. I can learn from the problem and not repeat the behavior, but to just lament and just agonize over the thing that went wrong. Nah, man, the solution surpasses that. Every day, or at least once a day, once every other day, once a week, once a month, whatever. We are all going to be faced with situations that are problems. Some of those things are out of our control. When it's something that's out of your control, you can't really control the circumstances. All you can do is control your attitude, your temperament, and how you react to it. You know, how you can't control your initial thoughts, but you can control not allowing those thoughts to make you do something rash. Checking yourself, catching yourself. We always have that when something bad happens, or just something that happens in general that triggers us. A thought happens, and then the body moves. But there's a point that happens inside your mind. That thought can happen, and then you can make another thought stop your thought from making your body move to do something that's not favorable. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, peace, Hayden. So when bad things happen, he has to acknowledge the bad thing that happened, but focus more on the solution. Focusing on the bad moment does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. Not to take it from a biblical sense, but we'll take it biblical because a third of the world believes in Christianity. So this is a way that I can relate to a lot of individuals. When Adam and Eve, mainly when Adam partook from the fruit, immediately his eyes was open. He knew good from bad. And God immediately put a whole nother, basically, path as to what was going to happen to humanity. Immediately. God didn't lament over it. God didn't focus on the wrong that they did. He immediately set something in place. Immediately. Because it's dwelling on what's done wrong, especially when there are active solutions that you can do. It's just a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. Yes. This is easier said than done. But now I hate using cliches, but life wasn't meant to be easy. Take it back to the biblical again. After Adam and Eve ate from that fruit, God said that it's going to be hard. The birth pangs, like a woman, her birth is going to be way more difficult. It's going to be hard to farm and yield crops. Like, stuff is going to be difficult. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I totally believe in that. But it is fair to say that to be successful on this planet, it's relatively difficult. Like, we see a lot of TikTok stars and people that blow up, or people that seem like they're blown up almost immediately. They say it takes 20 years for overnight success. You don't know all the groundwork they did to get to that point. You wasn't paying attention to them. All you saw was the finish line. Yes, there are exceptions. Yes, like Antoine Dotson. That's long. How long were they working? And they would just so happen to just find this guy speaking a certain way on a news program to make that song. Yeah. Antoine probably blew up real quick in that instance. But if you look at the whole machine of that happening, if there's no band, there's no producers, nobody knows about Antoine. And those producers, I would assume, they was making music for years. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to put that groundwork in, man. But we got to focus on the solution, not the problem, man. Not at all. I see an appliance, I'm effed up, broke it. I'm about to go handle it. You know what I'm saying? If it costs me $500, $600, $700, I got the money, and it doesn't affect me. Would I have liked this money to go to savings or a credit card bill or something like that, maybe pay rent in advance or whatever, part of my 401k? Absolutely. But I can still do this, take care of this, not tap my savings, not even really mess with none of my checking like that. And I'll be good. Focus on a solution. Now, it's probably going to take a couple of days, when you buy appliances and they got delivered to the house. So that's the only drawback. But you know what I mean? I just feel fortunate that I've been working this hard. When things go down like this, I could tackle it. It feels good. Now that's no excuse to be careless and to be reckless, because we don't just want to be frivolously just giving away our hard-earned resources just because we wasn't paying attention, or just not really fully assessing situations. I'm not saying that, but focus on the solution. It's all about keying in and focusing on the solution. Problems is always going to be problems. Now, if you just being careless all the time and you find yourself having bad luck because of poor decisions that you constantly make, maybe you just enjoy problems. There are some people that enjoy problems, that enjoy drama. Their life means more when they feel like either they're trying to save somebody, save themselves, or they're just perpetual victims. And that's what gives their lives meaning. If that's you, always effing up, and you want to live like that, hey, knock yourself out, man. It ain't gonna be me. Hell no. My goal in this life is to have it as stable and as peaceful as possible. With the hand that was dealt to me. That's all I'm trying to do. That's not too much to ask, is it? Yeah, I don't think I'm about to stop at this big wide. Like, logically, it doesn't make sense for me to stop there at all. It don't make sense. But I'm gonna go directly to Home Depot, order this washing machine real quick with the quickness. Then I'm gonna stop at Stop and Shop and get a couple of my goods there on that side of town. We about to just power through this. The only thing that's gonna suck is the merger from 91 South to 84 West. Like that's always a bottleneck. They've been doing a lot of construction lately. They've been doing a lot of construction on it for years. They've widened it, and it seems like it's gotten even more difficult to get through. And I think they're making it even more wide. Pause. No Diddy. Hopefully, it'll happen before either I'm a senior citizen or before I move out of this state. Even though I've come to appreciate Connecticut, it took me a long time to appreciate it. But it's like once you travel, once you venture out to other places, once I ventured out west a few times, down south a few times, up north a few times, New York City plenty of times, man, I appreciate Connecticut. I appreciate that everything is relatively close and there are tons and tons and tons of things to do. If you think there's nothing to do in Connecticut, you're being very disingenuous and you're being lazy. There's so many vineyards. There's a few amusement parks. We're within an hour's reach of 3 different casinos. We're only 2 hours from New York, hour and a half from Boston, an hour from Albany, 4 hours from Pennsylvania, from like South Jersey, Pennsylvania, like Philly, Camden, that area. And we got an airport right here. We got an airport in Windsor Lock. We got an airport in New Haven, Tweed. And if you want to travel a little further, we got an airport in Boston, Logan, hour and a half. And if you really want to take a hike, we got an airport 2 hours in New York, man. Train stations, all that, man. Connecticut, they say Connecticut is it literally is a highway. It's just a highway passing through. It really is. So, hey, I appreciate this so much more. Do I see myself living here for the rest of my days? And I'm getting older. I should be thinking more of that. Maybe I'm in denial of my aging, but my IBS reminds me, and my gray hair on my face and my baldness reminds me of how old I am every single day. But I appreciate this place, man. My dream, once I get on with this comedy full time, whenever I go on tour for like 1 month, 2 months, however long it is. But this area is always home. But I couldn't see myself relocating, not all the way down south, but like a North Carolina situation, South Carolina. I could potentially see that. I definitely could, man. Listen, I'm not going to talk y'all ear off. That's all I wanted to say. Whenever you're faced with problems in life, sometimes the problems are of your own doing and you have control over it. Don't focus and lament on the problem. Don't agonize over the problem. Focus on the solution. And if it's problems out of your control, just focus on your reaction to them. That's all you can do, really, essentially. Complaining and woe is me and I'm going. That's not. I don't think if you think the God, the universe, or anything like that. I don't think God listens to prayers like that at all. I think He wants more confidence, strength, and more of a sternness and a belief that He, she, it, whatever you want to believe it is, has the ability and the power to either A, fix whatever you're going through, or B, put you in the mindset to be able to deal with whatever you're going through. Even if a problem can't be fixed, you can fix how you think about said problem. He said, pick up some TB. That's funny. Yeah, even if a problem cannot directly be fixed, it's something that's out of your control, you can still fix the way you look at the problem. So in essence, you're still fixing the problem. We use our imaginations for everything. We use our imaginations for wondering how things will be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. We use our imaginations worrying about people talking about us. We use our imaginations hoping somebody likes us. We use our imaginations in negative ways all the time. So if we have the ability to use our imaginations in negative ways all the time, why not every now and again use your imagination in a positive way? Who made the rules against that? Why not? Whenever you run narratives in your mind about wherever you're going or how people, and this is me too, I'm talking to myself, how people feel about you, you are the author of thoughts. Now, yes, thoughts do pop into your head here and there, but you can also generate your own thoughts to combat those negative thoughts. Like I said, using my imagination, I split my brain into different parts on the inside. I got the dragon part of my brain. The dragon is this ferocious beast that just wants to fight, destroy, protect, eat, consume, and just, it is anger and rage and fire personified. And a lot of people let that dragon run free wild. And the only thing about that is, if you let that dragon run free wild from that cage, you will not have a very long physical existence. Tupac Shakur is a prime example of that. He had probably one of the most fiery dragons of all time inside his head, but he let it loose so much, I don't think he lived past the age of 25 years old because of it. So you want to keep that dragon at bay. And then I got pushover Paul. Pushover Paul is the part inside of my brain that wants to be nice to everybody, that's not trying to offend anybody, that don't want to step on anybody's toes, is always acting, I just hope I say the right thing. Nah, man, pushover Paul needs to be put in a cage, man. We don't need to hear pushover Paul. We could take his slight suggestions to give us some empathy as far as how we deal with people, but we don't want pushover Paul running this train, because you're gonna have people running over you for the rest of your life. Then you got awkward Andy. Awkward Andy is a dude that just feels awkward and uncomfortable. He's like he's cool with pushover Paul, but he just always feels uncomfortable and awkward. Awkward Andy may have these crazy, ridiculous thoughts that he shouldn't be thinking, but awkward Andy thinks that people can actually see what he's thinking. Him, you have to remind, and I'm getting to the other character. Now I got this main character. One of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat was Baraka. Baraka, even though he's like a demon-like character, he had these blade-like hands, and I think did Baraka have a scope on his eye? I think he had a scope on it. I just love that character. I just imagine Baraka as being the king of my mind of the castle. Baraka is the one that keeps that dragon in the cage and will only let him out in a life or death fighting situation. So he always keeps that at bay. Pushover Paul, the one that's acting like a pussy and a punk all the time, he keeps him locked away too. We want to keep him stuff way in the basements. Awkward Andy, he has to keep reminding awkward Andy. Stop with these goofy thoughts. Nobody can see what you're thinking, so stop being so damn embarrassed all the time. And Baraka is, and this other characters inside my mind too, but those are the only ones I can think of at the top of my head. And Baraka is basically, it's just different parts of the brain. You have the ego, that's the middle, the balance, right? That's Baraka. You got the super ego, like the part that's trying to be good, like overly good. I guess that's the pushover Paul. And then you got the id, that is their base, deepest, darkest level. That's the dragon. And the ego is in between, trying to keep those in balance. And it's funny, if even from a biblical standpoint, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, Father, super ego, that's the highest. Son, that's the ego, that's the middle. The Holy Spirit, that can either be your base level, the inner. Basically, the Holy Spirit is just pure energy. That bottom base level, that's pure energy. That's exactly what it is. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, super ego, and your id. Super ego, in your carnal nature. Like the dragon, it's not necessarily, like I would call it the devil, but it's not necessarily evil. It's just pure, unbridled energy. Pure fire spirit, unbridled energy. You know what I mean? And if you just are led with that base energy nature, with nothing trying to go, without your ego trying to guide and control it, and without the super ego is something to attain to, it's like plugging in a lamp, right? And you just cut the cord, and just like the electricity just be doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep all those parts. Listen, I probably said a lot. I probably went over your head. I probably confused y'all. If I did, man, just go back and watch it a couple of times. Look up the word super ego. Look up the word ego. Look up the word id. Look up the word your carnal nature. Look up Baraka from Mortal Kombat so you can get an idea of the character I'm talking about. Now, if you got to look up a dragon, you listen. You probably didn't read a book, or you probably like a blind deaf mute. That's what you are. You listen. Game of Thrones. Watch Game of Thrones or something. Then you'll know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And as I say to all my young and up and coming comedians, there is no such thing as writer's block. If the comedy gods have not given you anything new to scribe, that is their way of telling you to work out and perfect things that they've already blessed and given you. Stay away from the gossip, stay away from the rumors, stay away from the nonsense, stay away from the negativity, stay away from the foolishness, focus on the funny, and lead with love. Life is not something that happens to you in spite of you. Life is merely an experience for you to behold, so get to beholding. With that being said, wherever you are in the world, enjoy your Tuesday. It is a beautiful Tuesday evening here in Hartford, Connecticut. After I get this appliance, it ain't about me about to enjoy the evening. I'm already enjoying the evening already. Why? Because my evening started off with me doing episode 71. With that being said, have a good night. Peace.